Tonight, a rescue mission to save a crewman on board a ship south of Port Lincoln. And Nexif Energy Australia reaches a major milestone for its 154 megawatt power plant.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Ruby Kamain begins now.
Good evening. We begin with some breaking news tonight. Sanjeev Gupta's GFG Alliance has secured ongoing finance for its Australian businesses. In a statement, Premier Stephen Marshall says this is an important day for the Whyalla community and hardworking people at the steelworks. It follows recent uncertainty surrounding the future of the facility. A crewman on board a bulk carrier south of Port Lincoln had to be rescued and airlifted to the Royal Adelaide Hospital overnight. The ship had left Ceduna and was en route to Melbourne when the alarm was raised.
Off the coast of Port Lincoln and in rough seas, a delicate rescue operation unfolds. A man hoisted from a cargo ship onto a helicopter.
And with some really great flying from the pilot, we're taken over the back of the ship.
The male worker was badly injured after falling 1.5 metres onto a steel deck and becoming trapped for several hours. The alarm raised just before 1 yesterday afternoon. The ship, which was en route to Melbourne, detoured closer to Port Lincoln, where it rendezvoused with a rescue chopper. 2 medics then lowered on board to get to the patient.
He was 5 metres down below deck through a narrow stairway in the steps, and my partner Grant, he treated the patient clinically.
The medics were on the clock with the sun setting and the helicopter running out of fuel.
So it was quite difficult, but we've got the right equipment, we've got the right training, and this is what we do. We do a lot of these types of scenarios in training.
Crews used a winch to lift the man up onto the deck, where he was then placed on board the chopper. Medics say it was one of the more challenging operations they've had.
Yeah, it is a complex scenario because it was a rescue within a rescue. So that's why because he was below deck and we had to winch.
The patient was airlifted to the Royal Adelaide Hospital with serious injuries to his head, back and leg. Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Flights between South Australia and New Zealand have taken off today for the first time in more than a year. Air New Zealand Flight 191 from Auckland touched down in Adelaide this morning to plenty of fanfare. The milestone flight follows the opening of the Trans-Tasman travel bubble and allows Kiwi travellers to arrive in SA without needing to quarantine. It's the first international market the state has opened up to since the pandemic hit. A police manhunt was underway for a 32-year-old man wanted for a number of serious offences, including an alleged aggravated robbery, who has now been arrested. Police say Beau Colburn was potentially in possession of a firearm. Anyone who spotted him was asked not to approach and contact police instead. He appeared in court this afternoon. An alleged drink driver will face court after failing to stop at a stop sign in Whyalla. Just after 3:30 on Sunday morning, police pulled a ute over after it failed to stop at the intersection of Forsyth Street and Darling Terrace. Police say the 36-year-old driver from the area returned a blood alcohol reading of 0.114. He was reported for drink driving, his vehicle was impounded and he was issued an instant loss of licence. He also received a cannabis expiration notice after the drug as well as a bong were found in the centre console of the vehicle. Nexif Energy Australia has announced it's reached financial close on its Snapper Point power plant. The project will use gas-generating turbines in conjunction with its Lincoln Gap wind farm, providing renewable power to the grid.
Sealing the deal on more than a $50 million investment. Nexif Energy Australia announcing it has completed financing arrangements with lenders on its 154 megawatt Snapper Point power plant.
This brings us up to $500 million odd invested in South Australia. What this plant will enable us to do is to increase renewable penetration.
The project will see 5 gas turbines support Nexif's other renewable energy projects in South Australia, including its Lincoln Gap wind farm and battery storage.
This is a really exciting development, both for South Australia, as it's been in government's vision to get these projects up and going, but also for Nexif, this marks a really important stage for us.
Also creating 70 jobs during construction, with 10 ongoing roles available, helping to boost the regional economy. The generators will be leased from the state government for the next 25 years, with the Energy Minister backing the development, saying it will help lower emissions.
These generators are the ones that the previous government purchased and set up to run on diesel. Our Marshall government wasn't comfortable with that whatsoever, so we've sold the generators to two different companies with the requirement that they run on gas.
Construction is well underway, expected to be completed by December. Katrina Mussin, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Still to come tonight, a regional pub reopens after shutting its doors for nearly 5 years. And Broken Hill businesses prepare for one of Australia's biggest outback music festivals. Welcome back. The Carrington Hotel has finally reopened its doors following its closure 5 years ago. Residents say they're pleased to have their pub back, with the new owners hoping it will help boost the local economy, drawing more visitors to the town.
The doors are open and the beer is on tap. Carrington residents now able to share a drink inside the town's only pub.
It's a boost to the town. It's it takes, well, you don't have to go away for a drink, and just a good meeting place.
For the new owners, taking on the Carrington Hotel 3 years ago was an exciting business venture and lifestyle change. While COVID pushed back the opening date, renovations to the 1879 stone pub are nearing completion, featuring a new bar and cold beer.
It is a community hub, so the community, have meetings there, whether they're going there for a coffee or a beer, or just networking with other people in the community.
The member for Stewart backing the investment in the town.
It's going to be run by lovely people. They've put a lot of time and effort into refurbishing and upgrading the hotel, but it's also great for tourism.
Locals hope the pub being back open after 5 years will help bring more visitors to the town, encouraging them to stop and stay a while.
Be a big help because we struggle a bit with the shop, we struggle a bit with the caravan park, and if we've got a hotel, I think it'll make a big difference to everything.
The pub is open from Friday through to Sunday, expected to fully open from next month.
We have our cook arriving on the first week of June. My wife's due in 2.5 weeks, but from first weekend of June we'll be open full time.
Katrina Mussin, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A new bakery in Port Lincoln is creating a buzz, with those with a sweet tooth lining up for a taste. The family-owned business branching out from its home base in Tumby Bay, where it's been operating for more than 15 years.
With the benches piled high with sweet treats,
yeah, I think it's only...
and the coffee flowing, Port Lincoln's new bakery is proving a roaring success.
It was really nice, really good and fresh, and support local.
The Beach Bakery has only been open for a week, but is already creating a buzz around town with its pastries and pies.
We've been very lucky. Last week was crazy busy. Everyone wanted to come and check us out. So yeah, really happy.
And if the food tastes familiar, it's because it's the sister store of Tumby Bay Bakery. The family-run business taking the leap of faith, branching out down south, and locals can't get enough.
It's really cute and really makes this space really nice. Yeah.
We've got a good reputation, and yeah, we've decided to make the move to Lincoln. And we've had some Tumby Bay locals come in this morning and support us really well as well. So the whole community has really got behind us.
The team even serving up a generous slice to the local youth support service, donating its sweet treats at the end of the day.
We'll make regular trips there for them in the afternoons.
And while it may be a small store, it's creating a big impression on the town.
We serve everyone nice and quickly, so yeah, we don't need a huge space.
Nathan Richter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The final passes for the Broken Hill Menindee Bash are expected to sell out before the end of the week. The community already preparing for an influx of travellers, while organisers have teased more tickets could be on the way for locals.
It's said to be the biggest event ever held in outback New South Wales, and tickets to the Broken Hill Menindee Bash have almost sold out.
You've got to remember this is the first year, it's 10,000 people. Imagine when word gets around.
Organisers hoped to sell tickets for the music festival within 5 months. The final passes are now expected to sell by the end of the week, less than 2 months after being released.
We're all excited, but we know we need to be strategic, and every business needs to think about what they're doing to capitalise on this moment.
Businesses encouraged to plan now for their slice of the economic pie, said to be worth upwards of $10 million.
council's looking at how we can actually attract and maintain people in Argent Street, Patton Street, so you'll see some big announcements soon of what we're planning.
While many travellers will be camping on site, we're told Broken Hill won't miss out. Local accommodation filling up quickly.
It's going to be a very interesting week, or actually probably 2 weeks, because we've got the early bird people coming in the week before, people staying afterwards as well.
And while tickets are almost gone, organisers have told 7 Spencer Golf News they'll be making further announcements regarding day passes, specifically for locals. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Flows into the Menindee Lakes could trigger water sharing agreements by the end of the week. Once the lakes hit 37% capacity, water can be used to meet demands downstream in Victoria and South Australia. The Murray-Darling Basin Authority says water is unlikely to be released before late spring, and the lakes continue to be managed by New South Wales Government. Up to 950 gigalitres of water is expected to flow into the Menindee Lakes, well above the 640 gigalitre mark, which triggers the water sharing agreement. Stay with us after the break. A Port Augusta woman receives more donations to help locals struggling this winter. And Broken Hill's only rugby league team gears up for their second ever season this weekend. Hello again. Fire and Rescue New South Wales will welcome 3 new firefighters to its Broken Hill stations. The new recruits among more than 200 who graduated at a ceremony in Sydney on Friday. More than 8,000 applicants apply to become retained or full-time firefighters each year, of which only a small number are chosen. The new additions won't just be fighting fires. Their skill set also includes dealing with car crashes and hazmat incidents. One will be based at the main station on Glen Street, while 2 will join the South Station. Midwives across our region have been recognised this International Day of the Midwife. A lunch was held at Broken Hill Health Service this afternoon, with Adriana Tolotta crowned Midwife of the Year. Jessica Friedman, also recognised for her work, often called upon to care for sick newborns.
You just have to see it from the parent's point of view, that the last thing you want is a sick baby, and just keeping them in the loop. And again, it's a real privilege to be involved in these parents' lives.
The team at the Far West Local Health District deliver around 200 babies each year. Port Augusta community members are being praised for their kindness following an influx of clothing and blanket donations to the Seagram's Financial Planners office on Marriott Street. All of the items are taken to the Stepping Stones Day Centre, distributed to those who would otherwise go without in the community. Donations are still welcome as the cooler winter months approach, with residents encouraged to drop them into the Seagram's office during opening hours. The Silver City Scorpions are hoping to put some sting back into the competition when Outback Rugby League kicks off this weekend. While the team finished on the bottom of the ladder last year, they say their pre-season performance has given the squad a boost.
We may be in New South Wales, but there's no doubt Broken Hill is an AFL town. Our rugby league team, the Silver City Scorpions, are determined to make their mark and do Broken Hill proud.
We're back, we're bigger, we're better.
Their determination clear, battling the elements at training, hoping to topple the reigning premiers from Menindee, improving stamina seen as one of their keys to success.
A lot of the other teams are more fit, so we're just going to work on that.
The team bringing together locals, including a strong number of Indigenous players, as well as those from the East Coast.
I didn't know anybody out here until now, so it makes a huge difference making friends, and especially a great group of guys that are out there.
The group also hoping to attract new players to the code, with the Scorpions now including a women's team.
We're happy to have anybody on board that have experience in playing rugby league or have had a background in rugby league.
But for all the fun and mateship, this is still a competition, and the squad are keen to impress.
As far as I'm concerned, with what we've got this year and how well they played on the weekend in the round robin, watch out for the Scorpions, because we're putting the sting on the competition.
The team will travel to Wilcannia to take on the Boomerangs in the opening round this Saturday. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. Our reporter Lachlan Itter will bring you the latest prices at the petrol pump. And Alex Sykes will join us with all the weather details. Welcome back. If you filled up the car on the way home tonight, it's unlikely you would have been surprised by petrol prices. They've remained mostly unchanged over the last week. Here's our reporter Lachlan Itter with the details in this week's Fuel Watch.
It's a case of no news is good news for most parts of our region this week. For the last few weeks, in fact, prices at the Bowser have been fairly consistent. But there's an exception to every rule, and it's drivers on the Eyre Peninsula who have to shoulder the burden of high prices. When we look at unleaded, Whyalla and Port Augusta are the only towns paying more than this time last week. Once again, they are only slight changes though, up to $1.40 and $1.43 a litre respectively. Port Lincoln is unchanged and still the priciest place to fill up in our part of SA, where you'll fork out $1.44 a litre. Broken Hill still topping that at $1.45. You'll pay $1.39 a litre in Kadina, and Port Pirie remains the cheapest option at $1.35 a litre. And there are huge discrepancies in Adelaide's fuel prices this week, now averaging $1.62 a litre, a huge spike. Do shop around if you are heading down there, because there's still quite a few outlets selling unleaded for around the $1.20 mark in the northern suburbs. Over to diesel now, where the only town of note this week is Port Pirie, up less than a cent to $1.33 a litre, and sharing the honour of the best price with Kadina. Nothing really to report across the rest of the region, where prices are unchanged. Either end of $1.35 in Port Lincoln and Whyalla. Port Augusta is at the pricier end of the spectrum, where you'll pay $1.39 a litre. And Broken Hill easily comes off worst in the diesel department, $1.46 here. Prices are down ever so slightly in Adelaide, where you can expect to pay $1.34 a litre. Again, it is worth checking prices online before you buy. There's a 20-cent difference between the best and worst of the suburbs. Finally to Autogas, and it's a bit of give and take for Port Pirie this week, because prices have dropped there by almost 2 cents to 96 cents a litre. Kadina paying a cent more than last week, 96 cents, and you'll spend that same amount in Port Augusta as well. The best options to fill the tank are in Whyalla and Broken Hill, 88 and 92 cents respectively. Port Lincoln up there again, sitting on 99 cents a litre. And if you are in the city, it's probably worth topping up the tank for 91 cents. Remember, as always, that these prices are the regional averages and do not reflect any one particular outlet. But if you do spot unleaded, diesel or Autogas cheaper, be sure to let us know on our Facebook page.
Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather with slightly cooler conditions expected. Here's Alex Sykes with more.
Thanks, Ruby, and good evening, everyone. A mainly fine day across the region with mild temperatures today. From 3 p.m, Port Augusta was mostly sunny and 22. Port Lincoln was cloudy and 17, and Woodna had some light morning frost and reached 20 degrees. Looking further out across the region now, it was mostly sunny in Whyalla, Broken Hill and Adelaide, all 18 degrees. Similar conditions in Port Pirie, 21. Kadina and Cleve both got to a high of 19. There was morning frost in Clare, and then it became a mostly sunny day. It reached 17 degrees there. Cooper Pedy mostly sunny and 20. Taking a look at the satellite image now, cloud thickening over Western South Australia ahead of a trough, which is causing light showers to develop. Low cloud about the southeast in onshore winds is only bringing the odd drop of rain. Skies are mostly clear in the northeast under a ridge of high pressure. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. East to southeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas around 1 metre, and south to southwesterly swell around 1 metre, increasing to 2 metres later in the day. A slightly warmer day temperature-wise. Port Lincoln is forecast to be partly cloudy and 24 tomorrow. The same in Cleve, and Woodna will top 25. Whyalla partly cloudy 24, Port Augusta to top 25, and Kadina is set to reach 23 degrees. Port Pirie set to be a max of 25, Clare partly cloudy and 21, and Broken Hill will get to a high of 20 degrees. Taking a look further through the week now, rain in Cooper Pedy and Port Lincoln on Friday, partly cloudy across the rest of the region, a max of 24 in Woodna, 25 in both Port Pirie and Whyalla. Kadina and Adelaide will both be 22 degrees. Port Augusta will have the region's top of 27. Showers across the whole region on Saturday, except for in Broken Hill, where it's set to be cloudy, a max of 21 across Port Lincoln, Kadina, Whyalla, Cooper Pedy and Adelaide, 23 in Woodna, a degree cooler in in Port Augusta, 22 there. Clearing up on Sunday with partly cloudy conditions forecast. Temperatures will sit in the low to mid-20s. Cooper Pedy, Port Augusta, Woodner and Port Pirie all set to be 23 degrees, a max of 21 in Kadina and Port Lincoln. Adelaide will reach a high of 19 degrees. So definitely time to plan for some rainy day activities for the weekend, Ruby. And that's all the weather from me for tonight. I'll be back later with an update. Back to you.
Wonderful, thanks for that, Alex. And that's all local news this Wednesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later. Until then, enjoy your evening and we'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.